Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. So what do you suppose that one thing is? What's your thoughts on this? I want to hear what you guys have to say. So listening? Anything else? That's the only idea we got? Sorry, Tom? Oh. Listening to the word? Yeah? Being still? Yes. Being present. Yeah. And I think those are all worthy interpretations of what the one thing is. And I'm going to propose to you another thing that's worthy of this interpretation. The difference between Mary and Martha is that Mary was focused. She was centered. Whereas Martha was all over the board. She was worried and distracted about many things. And so what I mean by that is that, this for a minute, if Mary were to be doing all the tasks, she would still be centered and focused because her heart wasn't divided. How many of you worry about things, are distracted by things? I am too. And what this teaching is that it wasn't so much that she was sitting at the feet. It wasn't so much she was just listening and doing nothing, which is another issue, but we'll talk about that later. But the fact that she was centered, that everything in her life would be centered, even when she's doing her tasks. So like for instance, everyday tasks like changing diapers. God is there. When the kids are fighting, they don't fight, do they? Oh yeah, okay. God is there. To be centered means that to know that you're centered and your focus is always knowing that God, help me. God, let me be present to this moment with you. And that's what Mary had. And even if Martha had started sitting at the feet of Jesus, do you actually think that she'd be there pleasantly and just listening? Not at all. She would have been worried and distracted. She would have been there squirming impatiently to do the next thing. But she was invited into this time with Jesus. And yes, the many tasks have to be done, but our hearts cannot be divided. We either trust in God or we don't. And it's a difficult thing sometimes, isn't it? In our daily lives, to really think about Jesus being present right there and then. I'm leaving for 2 weeks tonight. And I've been worried about something. I have to go and put my kayak carrier on my vehicle. And it is a real difficult thing to do. And I know, I've already thought about this. I thought, Lord, I'm going to say a prayer before I start doing it today. To know that you're there and I can just calmly do it. And if it doesn't work out, I'll be calm about it. As the British say, be calm and carry on. So this is something that we always have to remember. Even the mundane things that we might be doing, like putting a carrier on top of a vehicle, those are moments where you can still be focused, still be centered on Christ. And Martha has that ability. She just doesn't realize it yet. And that's where you're getting redeemed, Martha, okay? And the other Martha over there, and there's another one over there. So these are the things that we have to remember. Okay? And always remember that. Now, the other thing is about hospitality. This is the other thing. Like we see Abraham in the first reading today, and welcoming these three strangers. We see Martha. She's very hospitable. She goes out and welcomes Jesus into her home. What a beautiful gospel to welcome Jesus into your home, that he's coming to your place. He's coming to your heart, and that's where he will dwell. Like, amazing. Okay? Abraham was the greatest example of what Jewish tradition says is hospitality. It's more than just saying hi. It's making sure that your guest is at peace, worry-free, and that all their needs are served, and done so with generosity and love and charity. That's what Abraham showed at that point in time. Now, Martha, on the other hand, was hospitable, but she wasn't quite focused, was she? As a matter of fact, she was so divided, she told God what to do. Could you imagine this for a second? If I was at, say, Mary Catherine and Mike's place for supper, and Mary Catherine's in the kitchen doing everything, and Mike is just sitting there listening to everything I'm saying. And then Mary Catherine comes into the living room, looks at me and says, "Father, don't you care that Mike's not doing anything? Can you tell him to help me out?" That would be strange, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be the most awkward moment for a guest? Think about that. This is what Martha did to Jesus. She asked the guest to solve the problem. And meanwhile, hospitality, particularly Jewish hospitality, and what we're called, is to make the person feel at peace, worry-free, and all their needs met. To sacrifice what our needs are for the sake of the others. In so many ways, parents, period, do that for their children. You always put your needs aside to make sure your child's at peace, to make sure that your child is worry-free, and to make sure your child has all their needs met. You do that all the time, and today, God smiles upon all of you because not only are you doing that for their physical well-being and their emotional well-being, but today, you take care of their spiritual well-being by presenting them for baptism today. God bless all of you.